This is the 50th anniversary of the Individual with Disability Education Act, or IDEA. IDEA is a law that sets up special education in the United States. To celebrate this milestone, I'm going to do several videos about IDEA and what it means for people with disability. Today I'm interviewing Carrie Gillipsie. She's an early development and disability policy project director with the education program policy program at New America. Her, her work focuses on equity in education for early learners and students with disability. So welcome, Carrie.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Carrie, people may know what IDEA is, but many may not know what IDEA Part C is. Can you tell us what IDEA Part C is and how it works?
Sure. Yeah, so Part C of IDEA is really focused on our youngest learners from birth to age 3 and their families. So Part C is a federal grant program, and it helps states provide early intervention services to these young children with disabilities and developmental delays, and also to their families. So states are required to find every infant and toddler that's eligible for early intervention and to connect them to the services. So instead of an IEP, like older students get under IDEA Part B, families in Part C get IFSPs, which are individualized family service plans, because Part C is all about the family and supporting the whole family and their child. And so early intervention services focus on all kinds of skills. They could be physical skills like crawling and walking. They could be cognitive, like learning and solving problems, communication skills like talking and listening, or daily living skills like eating, getting dressed. And then finally, social and emotional skills like playing and interacting with others. And so the services for early intervention include things like speech and language therapy, physical and occupational therapy, mental health services for parents and caregivers, nutrition and nursing. There's hearing and vision services, there's transportation, assistive technology, so many different services. Those are just some of them.
Thank you. And for our audience purposes, what I'm not sure that people will understand what early intervention is. Can you explain that?
Sure, that's a great question. Basically, early intervention is all of the services I just described for these children, birth to age 3. And it's called early intervention because we know that the earlier that we provide babies and families with all these different services, the stronger their outcomes can be. So we already know there's a lot of research that shows that if we have early interventions, early services and supports, then kids can have stronger success once they start elementary school.
Thank you. Why is Part C important for students with disability to have equal access to public education?
Well, we know that the first 3 years of a person's life are very important for their brain development and for their overall health and well-being. And we also know that families need support. It's not just children, but parents and caregivers that need support. And I wish that we could serve whole families, not just children, all the way through age 21. But we only do that under the law, under IDEA, for these infants and toddlers. But we know that these first 3 years is when the brain develops the most. And so it's so important to be able to support babies in their first 3 years so that when they go into IDEA Part B, preschool, elementary school, and going forward, they're set up for success as best as possible. If we want kids to learn and grow as best as they can, then we have to start with support for their families right from the start, from birth. And like I said before, when we give these early intervention services to babies and families, they're more ready for success when they get to kindergarten.
Thank you. This year is the 50th anniversary of IDEA. What do you want people to celebrate and remember about Part C?
I celebrate the fact that Part C acknowledges that humans are learners and students from birth. We used to think that babies were kind of just blobs that didn't have any thoughts or feelings. And finally, science helped us understand that babies are students too. They're learning so much, even when they're still in the womb. And as soon as they come out at birth, their brain is rapidly growing. So I celebrate that Part C says that babies are important too for providing services and that they need a strong start to learn about the world and gain the skills that serve us our whole lives. And it actually took 11 years after IDEA was first passed. It took until 1986 for the US to add on Part C to IDEA and to acknowledge that infants and toddlers have rights too to education. And what I want people to know is that we do not give Part C enough funding. Part C needs more money. It needs more money from the federal government, and states need to invest more money in it. And we need to provide states with help to train more people to work in early intervention in Part C. We don't pay people enough when they're supporting these families. And there's just not enough people and funding to help all the babies and families that need it. And it's really important. And so we need to put our money where our mouths are in the US and really respect these families and babies by giving them the funding and the resources that they deserve.
Thank you. Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Um, what would happen if IDEA or even Part C goes away?
That makes my stomach drop just thinking about it because if it went away, so many babies and families would not have really crucial services. Services that support things like their babies being able to eat properly in order to get nutrition, services like parents being able to have strong mental health so that they can be healthy parents for their children. And I'm worried because Medicaid funds a lot of Part C services, and Medicaid right now is being cut. And so I do worry that a lot of families won't have access to these services, and that because of that, they won't be able to provide infants and toddlers with these basic, really important services that they need. And I don't know what families are going to do if they can't access those services. So I am really worried that that's going to happen. And I hope that people are contacting their policymakers to ask that exact question. What's going to happen if these services go away?
Thank you. This was Disability Policy for All, and I'm Liz Weintraub, Senior Advocacy Specialist at AUCD. Thank you very much for being my guest, Carrie,
Thank you
and
so
have
much,
a
Liz.
great day.
Thank you. You too. I really am so glad I was here. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.